Hi everyone, and welcome back to Unhinged but Healthy. So, I've had a little bit of a mishap this week in the sense of my phone storage is full, and no matter how much I delete, I literally I just cannot record anything on there without it stopping. So, I'm afraid for the foreseeable this may be the answer. I'm actually just incredibly busy at the moment. Like, it's just a really busy time of year, like, just spending time with like friends and family, and I'm going away in the new year. So, I'm just trying to like cram it all in. So, my podcast and my YouTube video are not going to match this week. And I'm sorry that this is what it looks like. If I can even get this to work, I'm sure I will. Where there's a will, there's a way, you know. But I'm actually doing a wreath making workshop this morning, and then I'm doing a charcuterie board with my bestie this evening, and we're having a sleepover. So I'm gonna try and get this done nice and quickly, nice and short and sweet, and still give you all the deets. I probably should have waited until I did my makeup and looked nice, but yeah, I can't even really see what I look like here, to be honest. It's flipped me, and I'm like reaching for my hair, and I'm like, where is it? Like, see, like, oh my god, like, what? I don't know. But anyway, let's get into it. So today we're going to be talking about the different kinds of grief you can deal with at Christmas time. So I'm going to be talking about 3 different kinds of grief that I feel that I have dealt with around this time of year the past few years. And the first one I'm going to speak about is, well, before we get into it, just know you aren't alone. And yeah, I feel you. I'm here with you. You're never alone. And if you're watching this video, I would be very grateful if you could like, subscribe, and comment. But yes, anyways, first kind of grief I would like to talk about today is losing a loved one. So this time of year can be especially hard if you have just lost someone, which unfortunately so many people do this time of year, if it's their anniversary, or even if you've just lost someone recently. It doesn't even have to be close to Christmas, it doesn't even have to be recently. I lost my dad just before I turned 6, and honestly, like, it's something I've pushed back for so many years, and at Christmas time has always been an especially hard time for me. And I think because I pushed it back for so many years, like, it made it even more difficult. But yeah, and it is hard because, I do see, fathers and their daughters out at this time of year, and it does hurt like just that little bit more, because that's something that I wish I had, and it's something that I'm allowed to wish I had. I really just want to double check this is recording. Yes, it is. Yeah, like, and that I'm allowed to want that, and like, I just, even though I'm 24 now, like, I lost my dad just before I turned 6, like, I'm still allowed to grieve that, especially because I pushed it down for so many years. And it is difficult. And instead of, I used to be bitter towards it, I did used to be bitter towards seeing it, and I'd be like, it's so not fair. And I would like look at the universe and the world, and I'd be so angry, and I'd be so bitter, and I'd be like, why have you taken this experience away from me? Like, it's literally like, it's not fair. So I've literally not got the best frame here. Yeah, and I'd be like, it's literally like not fair. Like, why are you doing this to me? Like, it's so unfair. And I would just be angry, and I would be angry at the situation, and I would be angry at him. And I think it's okay. It's okay to be angry. Like, it's a stage, you have to feel it, but you definitely don't have to feel it for as long as I chose to. And it's not always a choice, especially in like the early stages of grief, but it is a choice as time goes on. It's something that you have to accept. And I feel like that's a pattern in today. Like, you just have to accept these situations for what they are, and it doesn't mean it's going to stop the grief, but you also just have to accept the grief as well. But yeah, I mean, it's difficult, like, it's never going to be easy. Like, this is a time of year where you see families together all the time, people talk about their families all the time, and people take for granted the things that you don't have, and it makes you angry, and that's okay. You know, again, you're allowed to be angry about it. Like, you're allowed to miss this person. Like, my advice to you with this kind of grief is to just let the waves pass through. Like, the only thing you're doing by pushing that feeling of grief away is pushing it down, and it's going to come up again, and it's going to come back stronger, and it's going to make you feel worse, and it's going to lead to you doing worse things to push that grief down, you know. So yeah, that would be my advice to you, that, and maybe limit your time on social media. Spend time with people that you love, like, who also knew this person. Do things that make you feel good and feel close to them. You know, like things they enjoy doing, things you enjoy doing together, just something that maybe you used to do for them. Like, you know, just do things that make you feel close to them, like, as long as it's safe and not like crazy. I'm not talking like Ouija boards, you know, but yeah, you know, just do things that make you feel close to them. Mute anyone you need to on social media, or just don't spend as much time on there. Accept the situation, let the waves of grief flow, and just like realize that you are going to see things in public and online that are going to trigger that grief, and that's okay, because you can sit with it and you can deal with it, and time doesn't heal the wound, but it does make it that little bit easier, you know. And again, you're allowed to be angry, just don't stay there forever, you know. You're allowed to miss this person. Don't make anyone feel like you can't, you know. Like, it doesn't matter how long it's been, like, it's still allowed to affect you, you know. Okay, so my second kind of grief around Christmas time is sort of, I never know how to explain this one, and this is the fourth time I'm recording this video, so, you know, I should really know, I should have the words by now, but I don't. So seeing families and kind of like wishing you had that, because that's not how your family is, you know. It doesn't always necessarily have to be like dysfunctional families, you know. Like, I kind of used to think that I had one, and I kind of realize now that things could have been a hell of a lot worse for me, even though they weren't great. Like, things definitely could have been a hell of a lot worse, and now I have boundaries, and now I just sort of accept certain people for who they are. I feel that my familial relationships have gotten a lot better, and I feel like it's just because I've accepted it. Again, acceptance, you know. But it doesn't take away from the fact that if you haven't gotten to that point, or even if you have, like, it still does sting a little bit when you see people have what you want. But what I'm gonna say here is, the things you see on social media are sugar-coated. No one is showing you the argument they're having with their parents or their siblings or their grandparents or whoever, you know. Like, no one is showing you the controversial conversation at Christmas dinner, like, you know. So that Christmas dinner that you want so badly, someone else might be there and think, this is hard work, you know. But yeah, so that's one thing I'm going to say. Don't compare your life to someone's highlights, you know, especially around this time of year. Lots of people do just want to seem like it's all happy families, and they may have that, and honestly, good for them if they do. That's great, you know. But just don't long for something that you don't have, you know. Like, you don't have that for a reason. Like, you can create that for yourself one day if it's what you really want, you know. Don't try and change people into getting that experience, because that is when things get extremely hard. I do have an episode from like 2023 around this time of year about dysfunctional families at Christmas time. I don't know how good that episode is. I don't remember, and I don't think I had the knowledge that I do now back then. But if you want to go and listen to that, then go for it. But yeah, so with this one, again, it is hard and it is difficult when you're like, I wish these people could be this way. and they aren't that way, it's painful, you know. And again, what I'm going to say, because I don't know, I'm saying it so much, you just need to accept people for who they are, and from that your relationship will get better. Whether it will get to the point that you want it to, there's no saying. Depends how much you can accept. But when you stop resisting people and trying to change them, that is when things get so much easier for you, especially if you want them in your life, you know. So yeah, I feel like when you accept that around this time of year, like it's still difficult to see all the nice family things and all of that and be like, oh, I wish that was me. But again, like one day when your time comes, like you, if it's something you really want, like you can create that for yourself, you know, and then you won't rely on these relationships so much. But my advice for you here again would be limit social media time. Don't compare your life with what you don't actually know, because what people post on social media is not actually facts, you know. To be honest, I don't know, just from my experience recently, I don't really feel like people post the things like constantly. I mean, like obviously sometimes like time to time is different, but like I don't feel like people constantly post something unless they're trying to like prove something. I don't know if that makes sense, and it might not be completely true. But yeah, I just find that when I used to post on social media a lot, it was when I was trying to prove something to other people, you know. And I still post a lot, but I don't post in the way that I used to. Like I feel like you can feel from what I post now that it's more authentic than what it used to be. Like I'm not trying to prove myself to anyone anymore. But yeah, so anyway, limit time on social media, mute if you need to. My mind's gone blank. Yeah, just accept people for who they are and just watch your relationships get a hell of a lot better. And I'm not saying to tolerate any disrespectful behavior, like that's not what I'm saying at all. Just don't engage with it. Like set your boundaries. I had to set my boundaries one year, and the first Christmas doing that was absolute hell and chaos. But now that time has passed and the people that love me have accepted those boundaries and stopped trying to force relationships that I don't want on me, it's a lot better, you know. Like time will pass and things will get better. Like don't like set a boundary and then take it back immediately because people aren't treating you the way you thought they would. Like it takes time, stick to it, and they will see that you are serious, you know, and things will get better in time. There was something else that I was gonna say. Oh, I can't remember. I said don't compare. If I've never experienced this, but I have lived away from home, but I've always come home quite often. But if you're in a situation where like you're just going home for Christmas or the holidays, like, and you get really overwhelmed because like it's a case of like your family is together constantly and like you don't have a room to go to or like anything like that, maybe just like communicate that you need time by yourself and that it's not personal. Like please don't take it personal, but like you're just used to spending time by yourself now and you need that to recharge, and like hopefully they'll understand. And maybe you don't even have to say anything, like maybe you can just go off for a little bit. Maybe you can just say like, oh look, like I'm going for a coffee, I'm going into town, like, you know, like something like that, just to have your own time. What else was I gonna say? I think that was all for that one. But yeah, just boundaries. My mind. I'm so tired, guys. I'm so tired. Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, last type of grief I'm going to talk about today is breakups. And it doesn't even have to be around the holiday season. I feel like when I went through my last proper breakup, like we broke up 6 months before Christmas, but my first Christmas without my ex was very difficult at the time. It was very tough for me. Like it was like my first proper like long-term relationship, and you know, it was very hard. And again, I was bitter, just like the other two types of grief. When I saw people have what I don't have, I was bitter and I was angry, and I was like, why has this been taken away from me? Like, why doesn't the universe want me to experience this? And it's just not the right mindset to have at all. So now when I see couples out, I mean, obviously I'm not like heartbroken anymore, so I'm not like extremely bitter. But you know, I'm like, you know, I mean, I don't even think about it half the time, but if I am in a headspace where like say something has ended or whatever, I'm like, do you know what, like that's just the universe showing me that that's possible for me, you know. And when you really want something, like it is hard to not be like, oh, it's not fair, like why does she have it and I don't, and like when do I get to experience that, like when's my turn? Like just be patient, you know. And it is going to be hard. Like I remember my first Christmas without my ex, and I was like, this time last year, like he was over my house, like we were doing this, like I was, all the pictures were like coming up on my snap memories, like, you know, and it was hard and it was really tough, and I was like wondering who he was with, like what he was doing, like just thinking about him all the time, and like just wanting to text him, like we hadn't really spoken since we'd broken up. And like, yeah, I was just like, it was very hard and it was very difficult, and like it's not the worst type of grief to experience, but fresh heartbreak is difficult and it's so hard. Like especially I feel like the holidays kind of like amplifies it almost, but it does definitely. But yeah, and it is hard, and like don't feel like you have to hide that. Like again, like just feel it, like with all these types of grief, like literally just feel it. Like that's the best thing you can do. Like don't push it away, like just let that feeling, let that wave come through you. It's gonna come out in waves, like it's fine. Like I feel like there's so much pressure to feel like happy around this time of year, and like not many people do, especially with the new year coming. Like, you know, like it's hard, and like I don't know what it is about new year, but it's just like a looming like not nice feeling personally anyway. Like if I didn't have something to look forward to this year, and I still, oh, I don't know, I don't like a new year, I don't know why, not until we're in it. Like 2 months in. But yeah, and it is hard, and like you're allowed to feel that way. Like don't let anyone invalidate that. Like, you know, again, like mute socials, don't check on them, try not to look at memories, like do your best to break like the habit loop, and like you are going to think about them, and like that's completely fine. Like it's inevitable, don't push it away. If you push it away, it's, you know, and you try and fight it, like it's just going to come back stronger. Like just leave it be, like it's literally fine, like it'll pass in time, and like I can promise you that by the next Christmas you probably won't feel like this, you know. But yeah, just take it as it comes. Like don't watch stories. Honestly, my life has become so much nicer, and I have so much less FOMO now that I don't watch people's stories if I don't like directly know them in person, or like I'm actually friends with them. Do you know what I mean? And I mean like by directly know them in person, like I see them more than like once a week, you know. But yeah, it's tough, but you're gonna get through it. This is not a very nice time of year, but not for everyone anyway. And I feel like especially if you're in a country where it's just grey all the time and raining and like stuff like that, like it's not the best, like it doesn't help, but there are things you can do to make yourself feel better. And again, with all these three types of grief, it's all the same advice really. Limit your social media or what you watch. Doesn't mean you have to post less if you don't want to. Spend time with loved ones, do things you enjoy, like, you know, hobbies. It's great, it's really a great thing. You know, just boundaries. Don't check on people you don't need to check on. Like just focus your energy on yourself, just focus on keeping yourself afloat, and it will all be okay. Yeah, I don't know if I've left anything out, but maybe listen to my podcast as well if you really want to. Just to see if I missed anything out. But yeah, Thank you so much, and I'm hoping I can figure something out to record on soon, but I have got a lot going on at the moment, so I don't really know if I have the time or the resources to right now. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I love you lots. Bye.